Okay. Well, hey, welcome to Slashers Chopped, where we talk about everything comic book related. For today's fun activities, it's gonna be Ade joining us, me and Mikey, because usually she's on our main thing, which is with slashers, where we talk about movies. This situation, there's a TV series, so we decided to bring Ade along just because she usually likes to watch some of these kind of shows. Sometimes she's into them, sometimes she's not, but we figured she'd be the reason why we have to complain about something or say something fun. So here she
Yeah.
is with us.
Everyone, welcome Aid to her first appearance and might possibly be her last. Um,
Yeah, more likely.
you'll figure out why we call her the fun sucker, and it's not because of a man named Fun. Welcome back to the Comic Chop. I don't know why Lance keeps calling us the Chop, because that makes it sound like we're meat. And even though I'm a fine prime Aid grade beef,
Go on.
Well,
I preferred
I
to be
mean,
stewed, not
what
chopped.
Lance has already Lance made up like 8 words in that entire spiel, so let's
You're
Yeah.
not
move
going to
on.
come to Lance's show and
No,
disrespect
I'm
him on
not.
his show.
Which is why I poured myself another glass of wine for this. So there we go.
She's lying, folks. It's just Everclear.
Yeah, but seriously. So today we're gonna talk about Dead Boy Detectives, which is a comic book that came out in April of 1991. Their first appearance was actually in a Sandman comic book, number 25. It was written by Neil Gaiman and Matt Wagner, uh,
Gaiman.
and Amen. Sorry.
Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman.
Basically about two dead boys who died in England, two different time frames.
Homos.
Well, to be fair, one of them is.
Yes, yes, one
As of
is
now.
definitely until he gets his way.
No,
But
and I want to preface this before we begin that
oh,
Lance tells me he's like, you need to watch this and join because the show is literally us. So imagine my surprise when I watched this.
Wow, Lance. You didn't
Continue,
tell me
Lance.
that. News to me.
Wow.
no way! I definitely said that to you. I
No.
definitely told you this show was like I was like, ha ha, huh.
Huh.
Now I
The
see
two
it
boys
through a
are
whole
like
new
best
lens.
friends. Yeah, it's like.
Mhm. And what else? And also, just to preface, we are only kind of covering the first 3 episodes because we wanted to
Yes.
do it semi soon because we do want to eventually read the Dead Boy Detective comic book, and then we'll kind of like touch on the later episodes. Aid might not be here for that because she doesn't like reading, but
Ah,
we will.
The English teacher, by the way.
I don't listen. I do like to read. I don't read.
What was it? What were you gonna say? Is he gonna say
I
something
do.
horrible about nerdy kids?
She's
I
like, I
don't
don't read
read.
children's
Yeah, I know.
books.
She doesn't like
I
children reading, regardless of what it is.
I don't need pictures in my endeavors. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
Might have helped in a closing call or whatever it's called. But
Mm.
I will ask, Aid, since you are new to this little series we have you ever read a comic book or graphic novel?
I used to read graphic novels.
Any
I
come to
read
mind that
this.
you remember enjoying?
Well, I was a manga,
Manga, yeah.
whatever manga. Okay, as I used to read because I was an IB in high school, so all my friends were Asian. I hate to,
Oh,
I mean,
so that's why she read.
Jesus.
because so no, but I got into things that they got into, right? And so
I have me some Asian friends.
I borrowed a bunch of them. This one girl had a shit ton, so I borrowed a whole series called Mars '88, and I will say that was amazing. Oh, have you
Nice.
read it? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you would have been an adult when I read this, so yes,
Oh
I'm
my
sure.
god.
But yes, it was very good, and of course, I used to read Sailor Moon because I
Oh,
love
yeah.
the show, so I'd love to read Sailor Moon. But graphic, no, I can't say. Oh no, I take it back. I do have a graphic novelization of my favorite series by Karen Manning, the Fever series. So I have that. Love you, Jericho Barons. Hashtag you're fine. And also, The Lost Boys has a graphic novelization as well.
Trash film. Well, very nice, very nice. My origin story for manga is kind of similar, or manga, excuse me. I was in middle school and my friend was like, "Read this. It's like a comic book with boobs." So that's how I got into it.
Lots of homoerotic eroticism
Nice.
here.
It's
Go ahead.
interesting that the story does go so back into the 90s because I wonder if the story is as gay as the show. So it's something that we will find out because you haven't read the original comics, right, Lance?
No, it's weird because I read the Sandman series before and I remember the characters, but obviously you didn't get like a whole bunch of details about them as you do like either from the show going on right now on Netflix or their actual own books. They kind of have the thing where they kind of like pop in and out of other people's books.
Yeah.
So like
Well, because Neil Gaiman wrote the Sandman, and and he may. I mean, I have to revisit Coraline. Who knows if they pop up in there too? That'd be pretty interesting. So
yeah, I mean, and then recently with doing the live action stuff, they popped up I think in Doom Patrol season 3. And I don't even think it was the same actors that you get in the Netflix series. I think they recasted the roles. But yeah, and also Doom Patrol is another one. We might even I might try to make Mikey go check out that series because there's a lot more seasons than that.
Doom Patrol has, I forgot her name, but the principal from Sabrina. Love her.
Oh
I'll watch
yeah,
anything.
yeah, she's so great in this. I think everybody in that series is really great, and it's not your traditional comic book series or movie or whatever you want to look at it. Both of these are very indie. It's way and it kind of sticks along with what we do here on the show for this because we do like to pick a lot of like stuff that aren't the mainstream. Everybody else might check out. So we are kind of like
just so punk rock.
We are in that sense. Yes, we very much are. as Aid rolls her eyes as you watch this, because we're only on YouTube, Aid, so everybody will see everything you make right now.
Oh, this will be released as an audio file as well.
No, that's okay
Oh,
because
you're
Mikey
not?
will
Okay.
just zoom in on your face the whole time, so it won't matter.
But yeah, no. So I basically made Aid and Mikey watched like the first 3 episodes of this series, and we didn't watch the whole thing yet, so we just wanted to get the first kind of 3. And I usually kind of judge any series by like the first 3. It's like that's either I'm gonna keep going on from it or I won't. This has obviously kept me intrigued, so it's kind of been fun to watch. What did you two think, Aid? Seeing how you are the guest in this situation, what did you think of the first 3?
So the first one I watched, I started it. It was cute. I know I watched it, but it was like I think it was right before Mikey and Doug and Yahira came, and so I might have been a little bit tipsy.
So your view of it was a little drunk.
I may or may not have fallen asleep. I know I remember like all of the things that sort of happened because I watched the recap and then I did I watched the episode synopsis. So I'm like, okay, I remember that. So I didn't have to rewatch it. The second and third, like it does get better as it goes along. I think that they're setting up the characters in these first 3 episodes. So if you are a fan and you want to get to like I don't know if the nitty gritty is there. I don't know because I haven't read the story, but I really do love the witch. She's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
she is serving content like I was in downtown New Orleans, Orlando, wherever we were.
Orlando, yeah.
So quick shout out. I don't remember her name. I think her name is Jen Lyons or something like that.
Jen Lyons, yeah, I think, yeah.
She is from Claws, which I also enjoyed. Plays a completely different character than from Claws, but she is beautiful. She's gorgeous. I don't care if she's evil. I don't care if she's eating children. Population control. I'm on her side. Like, we don't need to be stopping her.
No, let her be.
And she's very Aid.
Yes, let her live her best life. So I was thinking, well, Lance had feelings of grandeur with the 3 of these people behind me being us. I think I'm more of Esther in this case, but
Of course
we
you
shall
are. Yeah. So out of the first 3 episodes, I mean, you get a lot of different characters. You get the shopkeeper slash meat I don't want to call her meat girl, but the butcher girl. You get the the kind of roommatey kind of, I guess she's a roommate, I guess you kind of say, or like another,
The
like they're
tenant.
kind of in a weird dorm. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that'd be correct, I think.
So the butcher owns, her butcher shop on beneath, and then upstairs are all of the apartments. So she rents these rooms out, Lance. She is
Yeah.
the landlord.
Well, like I said, but I mean, in technical ideal, they are roommates. They're on the same household. So, but basically, what I was saying was, it's like they have that character, they have the witch, the shopkeeper who used to be a walrus. They have the cat king, which is a awesome dynamic so far. And the fact that cats even talk, so I don't even know if they're gonna get into that, where there's a certain cat that goes along. uh the male guy, the guy who just drops off randomly, the dead
The
male,
mailman.
yeah. And then you also get like a plethora of different ghosts that are trying to get their case solved, I guess, and
Yeah.
and final their end game of trying to move on. So they're trying to be successful in that, because basically what the detectives do, there are two boys who decided that they're going to avoid moving on, even though the Edwin character can't really move on because spoiler, he was involved in a seance, like where he was a sacrifice basically. So like he went to hell, and like there was nothing to do with it, which I thought was kind of hilarious in that scene where legitimately, the demon is like, well, sorry, you are my sacrifice.
Yeah, basically, it's not that he can't move on, it's that he doesn't want to, because if he moves on, he's like betrothed to this demon, so he has to go to hell. So they're also
Exactly.
hiding from death, which Death is a fierce Black woman. And I was like, when I die, I think I would like that job, coming to, because she's not scary. She's
No.
just a person that comes and takes you to your final resting spot. So there's a lot of really good, strong characters in the show. The butcher being one of them. I hope she shows up more. Death is amazing, even though we only had her in one scene. I don't know exactly who she is, but some official from like the undead who's like looking to bring them back.
The night nurse, played by Ruth Connell.
Yeah, she's fierce too.
She's Scottish? She's clearly Scottish.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if anybody's a fan of Supernatural, you will know her from Supernatural, where she is actually the witch. But Aid, what were some of the characters that you did actually like from this?
Well, other than Esther.
Yes.
Who I thought, like, just leave her be. Like, she's living her own life. Like, why are you
Which
guys
is funny, she has a
bother
biblical
her?
name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I always think of like as like I used to know this girl in middle school, and she looked like an old lady, and her name was Esther. And she like already
really?
looked like she was 68, and she was only like in 8th grade. And her name was Esther.
The Esther I knew was a big old hot slut, so that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I never knew a big old hot slut named Esther. So Brianna Cuoco plays Jenny the Butcher, and I love her. She's great too. She's another strong character, and I really like the Cat King. Like I like him.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to
I will
him.
say out of the detectives, I really like the gay one. I forgot his name.
Edwin's the gay one.
Edwin, which is funny because the '80s one acts more gay than he does. So I was confused about who was gay.
Yes, but he's 80s punk, and he also wears a ska button. As you can see behind me, which is
she cracked your conspiracy theory.
I cracked the code yesterday. I was like, does that
Charles,
button
by the way,
say on Charles's vest? Does that button say ska?
Well, because he's from the 80s, and ska was very big in the 80s in England at that time. So there's a lot of rude boys and all those scenarios.
He has a rude boys patch on him, I think, at some point.
Gay rude boys unite, leftover crack, look it up.
And he's also British, and I feel like sometimes British men come off as a little, I know, but
uncircumcised.
What? Pompous?
No, not pompous,
Posh?
but just very dainty.
Beans and toast.
I don't know what it is, but you thought he was gay, so maybe that's
the
why
motherland.
you thought he was gay.
The motherland.
So I'm just saying.
I love it. I think this is, for people that miss Buffy, I think this is a great
it does feel very WB.
What I love about it is it's very WB but adult, because they say bad words and there's gore. Oh, and I was telling Lance when I first started watching, I was like, I love the opening score because it's so cute and Halloweeny, and it just gets me in the mood. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was when I first started watching, I was like, this is very gay. Not just because the main one of the detectives, but also like there's a moment where Crystal, who's the psychic, is very allured by the Asian flatmate. What's her name? I forgot her name. Um,
Nico.
Nico. But you realize it's not because of like a sexual attraction, it's because of her aura
Her
that is
aura.
attached to something else. But it's cute. The first 3 seasons are like building their little Scooby gang. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing too about that is that each episode, like little things that happen in each episode show like have repercussions in the next. So
Yeah.
I can see if you were reading this would make sense because it would be foreshadowing. On a show, it's a little bit harder to foreshadow things because you're getting thrown so many things at the same time that you don't have a lot of time to process it. So anything that happens, any tiny little thing that happens, just make sure you're paying attention because it's probably going to
Yeah.
show up in the next episode.
In the Dead Boy comic books, I don't think the Crystal character really shows up right away. It's not until a little bit later on. But she is the living partner of this detective Scooby gang, as we'll say. It says they like to use that in almost everything that happens to be like Buffy the
A group of
Vampire.
friends.
Well,
Yeah,
I
group
want
of
to
friends.
remind everybody that they're all supposed to be teenagers, which is another thing too, because everybody looks like they're 25 or older. So, okay.
Are they
Um,
teenagers?
they're teenagers. Yeah, they're all teenagers. They all died. The boys died when they were teens, and then she is still a teenager. And they even mention it. There was something that she said, because and this is why she keeps looking for her parents, people. So don't think it's because blah blah blah, but she's still a kid. And they do look like we'll call a spade a spade. They look like children. I mean, they are kids. They're early 20s,
Yeah.
whatever. They were probably my students a couple years ago. So, oh, and Brianna Cuoco, by the way, is Kaylee Cuoco's sister. Did I say that? I don't remember if I said that. They are teenagers. Like, it's interesting to have this little dynamic of characters together. And I think that it works bringing the live girl in because while the boys are dead, the girls are alive and you can only see, so not everyone can see them. So you have to have like a special, either like near death experience or be a clairvoyant, like Crystal is, in order to see the ghosts. So not everybody can see them. So I think it's really funny and cute. And so some moments where they like, they show like her talking to herself, like, she's not, but like everybody else sees her talking to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep going. I think it looks really good. I think it's cute. I will say the one downside was the third episode, kind of the situation they have to overcome with the time loop. I was like, not really feeling that.
Yeah, that was probably the darkest thing I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because first of all, murdering the children. And like they don't show it for the longest time, but at some point they do show it on the camera, right?
Yeah.
So if you are easily triggered by that, which I don't know why they don't like to show you killing kids. Like look at the untold story and all of its success, according to Doug. But like I think that the last one by far was my favorite because I like that it was that dark. Because the other ones
Yeah.
are fun. They're like
Yeah.
high spirited. Like even the demons, so they only find Crystal. Her name's Crystal Palace.
I know.
I know. Cheap vodka, people. And so they only find Crystal because a demon has possessed her and it was like her ex and blah blah blah. So there's like this whole
Yeah.
backstory. But I'm thinking to myself,
It's like, get over it.
And
I
still a red flag.
know.
I'm surprised Aid didn't like him.
He is
no,
hot.
he's cute. He is hot. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind him
He
He
coming
could
around.
possess me in it, and he's like, I don't care if
That's
you like
fine.
me
I
or
would have
even
let
love
him
me. I'm
possess
gonna
me.
get back
That's
in there. And
totally
I'm
like, I
like,
get it.
Daddy.
Just in case if you randomly have only seen the chop while us doing this, if you see our other show, you'll understand that Aid and Mikey have a tendency for men and red flags, multiple red flags, not just
I
a
know.
few,
Our
just
biggest red flag
literally
right in front of us.
hanging in the back of their back.
Red means go. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
according to Aid and Mikey, legitimately. Oh,
Yeah,
all I see is red on you right now.
that's fine. Like me and crossing traffic, we don't stop.
Would this be a series that you would continue going on with, or would you tell somebody else like, hey, because I've been trying to tell a lot of people because I like series like this because my theory is good or bad. And I think if these shows keep doing well, that means they'll finally get to some show that you like, and then they'll
Yeah.
try to do better. I would rather support it and tell them things they should do better than not support it, and then they just don't do this and they don't do anything else afterwards.
I like it a lot. I support it. I want it to get renewed. I think the only thing that it has going against it, because I didn't want to watch it until you made me watch it. It's only because it seems like a teen show, but it's not really a teen show. But it comes off as, like Aid said, a WB show, but it's more adult than it leads on. And I think if people actually watched it and they're like, oh, cool, like this actually goes places, not just surface romance and charmed type petty violence.
Well, I will continue watching it because now I need to see what the fuck happens, especially with the cats. I love the cats. Cats are my
Yeah.
people here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
we have
did
to
anybody
count
like
all the
cats.
cats.
The cat-
So how'd you guys feel about the Pixies?
Yeah, and the little
The-
sprites
the-
in the jar. I
sprites.
love them.
They're cute.
Oh my
They're
god,
such-
I would go
they're
to the
such
bar with
dicks.
them.
They're
Yes,
such dicks. Don't put the blanket on us. Don't put the blanket on us.
they're fabulous. So I'm
They're
just
cute.
like, they're very cute. And so there's a lot of good elements to the show. The characters are endearing, and we're still learning about them. So I don't know where it's gonna go or what's gonna happen because I don't want to get too excited. So last time I got excited about something like this, I really enjoyed the first season of Carnival Row. Now I'm on the
Oh,
second
yeah.
and last. I'm on the second
Same.
and last season, and I'm not saying that I don't like the second season. I do like it a lot, but I am the kind of person when I know that it's going to end, I stop it and then I save it.
Oh, I dragged out the last episode of that forever.
Yeah,
If this is successful, which I think it is, you only have to worry about it when it gets to season 4, because that's like when Netflix is known to cut a show no matter how successful it is.
Yeah.
true. So we shall see what happens. So like I
Yeah.
said, I don't want to get too excited because I don't know what's gonna happen. And Bridgerton is on right now, and of course Lance springs this upon me during the premiere of season 3 of Bridgerton. Like, how dare
I mean,
you?
they sound the same. They both talk funny.
Well, that's true. However, you don't see me making them
Across the
read
pond.
Bridgerton and watch it. So here we
Oh
are.
my god.
Anyways.
Eh.
Well, thank God we don't do shows about those things.
But yeah, we have a new design now. If you guys also listen to the main show, you can check out our t-shirt. Follow us on Instagram, Mutant Goons for Beyond, or Slashers Pod, because we're going to be having a little giveaway.
We spent a lot of money in Spooky Empire.
We don't need to revisit that.
Some of us more than others.
I know.
Yeah,
Lance bought something at every booth, so I guess if you need a minute.
Hey, I'm
anything.
supporting our horror brothers and females out there. So, yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you, brothers and females, for listening to today's episode.
It has been awesome hanging out with you guys. I'm glad talking about some comics and the shows that come from those. Just to have a little different ending for us. I mean, thanks Aid for coming out and actually talking about this with us. Seeing how she's
Thanks,
not
Aid.
really 100% into these things, so we do appreciate that. Mikey, as always, I enjoy talking about these things with you. And then we're just gonna head out. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next time, whenever that happens.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have some super new cool guest co-hosts. But until then, goodbye, don't die.
Bye.
Die.
Bye.
Yeah.